Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm coming at you today with another commentary video. And this video is going to be about Taylor Swift and her music video, The Man. And before I start, I do want to say that I did another video about Taylor. I think it's called Feels About Taylor Swift. And it's kind of just about how she's one of the artists that I listen to, at least her old stuff. And she's one of the artists where I can kind of remove her personal life, which is kind of ironic considering all of her songs are about her personal life. But I can kind of remove that, and her songs are kind of wish fulfillment. And so in that way, you can kind of insert yourself into the narrative without really thinking about her. I haven't listened to any of her later albums, such as Reputation. And I haven't even really listened to Lover that much because I just do not like her new music. Everything after 1989 I just have not listened to. But when this song came out, The Man, I was so hyped for this song. Listening to it and watching the lyric video, I thought it was such a good song. I thought it touched on a lot of issues, and that's why I'm going to talk about it today. I'm going to talk about the lyrics. I'm going to talk about the song, and then I'm going to talk about the music video. So yeah, let's go. So, as you know, I already really liked the song, The Man. So when I saw the thumbnail and the premiere date on YouTube, I set a reminder for it. I was so excited. This is probably the only Taylor Swift song in recent memory that I really enjoyed. So I was like, finally, Taylor has created a bop. Unfortunately, the music video wasn't that good, and we're going to get into that. But before I do that, I just want to talk generally about the song, and then generally about my first impressions of the music video, and then what I liked and didn't like about the music video, and then lastly, I'm going to talk about how and where I would have taken the music video, and what I thought it was going to be and where I think it should have gone. So let's first talk about the song detached from the music video. So the song itself is very devoid of any racial or class analysis, but to be fair, the song is obviously about Taylor and her life as a rich white woman, so I get it. And in addition, I do think that Taylor does get a lot of undeserved criticism for doing things that if she was a man, she wouldn't get. If she was a rich white man, she wouldn't get. For example, playing the field, being called the crazy ex-girlfriend because she writes songs about her exes or her boyfriends. And yeah, that's unfair. And I think another reason why I appreciate the song itself, detached from the music video, is because I think even as a non-white woman, I think about what my life would be like if I was a rich white man. And I think that a lot of people, women especially, can kind of get that and latch on to that and wonder what their life would be if they were a different race. And I think about that a lot, so I think that's why I liked the song so much by itself. So now let's talk about the music video. So this song kind of flew under my radar because Taylor makes a lot of songs about her haters. And I thought that this song was just a woman's lib song. But when the music video came out, it's very clear that this song is about Taylor's haters. And I personally do not like any songs that have to do with Taylor and her haters because I just find them boring and kind of annoying. I mean, she can make songs about whatever she wants to, but personally, I just do not identify with those songs at all. So to Taylor, this song, The Man, is clearly about her haters and her identity, which I get. But as a viewer, the song is more about wider structural inequality, right? Especially in the workplace. Because in the chorus, they talk about, a woman wondering if she would get to a higher position or be promoted or whatever if she was a man. Why does she have to work twice as hard as a man? Especially if you're a woman of color, specifically black and brown women who have to work 3 times, 4 times as hard as their white male colleague. So that's what I thought the song was about. But because the song is about Taylor and her haters, it kind of went, it did go, it went in a totally different direction. And I think that's why I didn't like the music video, because I thought the song was about something else, but obviously to the artist, it was another thing. And that's okay, it's just a music video. But at the same time, I don't know, maybe it's just because I was really passionate about the song itself, that I wanted it to have a good music video. But I also think that, we should be able to critique art. We want to see ourselves reflected in media. So I think that's another reason why I was disappointed with it. So let's go into what I liked about the music video and then what I didn't. And before I go on, I just want to make a small disclaimer that I'm not going to be dissecting anything specific in the music video that has to do with Taylor's life, like little hidden Easter eggs or anything like that, because I just don't care about her personal life. So yeah. And actually, before I get into the whole nitty-gritty of what I liked and didn't like, I want to talk about my first impressions of the music video just from the thumbnail itself. So when I saw the thumbnail on YouTube and set the little reminder for the premiere, I saw that it was clearly an homage to either Wolf of Wall Street or Mad Men, because you see a man standing in a high-rise office building in New York City, obviously, and his back is to us. And that's clearly a callback to many movies. But for me personally, I definitely got, Wolf of Wall Street vibes, Mad Men vibes, because Don Draper's always shot from that angle. It's kind of an iconic image of the series. So yeah, that's what I got from it. I was kind of confused. I mean, I wasn't confused because the man, okay, I get it, there's gonna be a man in the music video. But where is Taylor? But it turns out, we'll get to that. But I thought that, I don't know, following a man around for the music video of the man, I guess makes sense on a surface level. But on a deeper level, it could have been, I don't know, I was expecting a twist to happen in the middle of the music video, because in my mind, I just could not imagine that this whole music video would be centered around a single man. So that was my first impression. I thought that there was going to be a twist in the middle where Taylor would show up, or where she would reveal herself as the man, or something like that. So those were my first impressions. Overall, I was intrigued, and I was excited. Alright, so let's get into what I liked about the music video. So what I did like, obviously, number one, the special effects and the makeup team, great job. I did not know that that was Taylor probably until actually I didn't know that was Taylor until the very end of the video. I was questioning it throughout the music video, who is that? Is that her? And yeah, great job to the special effects team. They CGI'd, I think, her hands and her legs, basically her whole body, and then they put makeup on her face to make her look like a man. And yeah, it was very convincing. She did not look like herself at all. So yeah, I thought that was interesting, and a good job to her team. The second thing I want to talk about is the racial analysis. There are almost no people of color in this music video, or even any racial analysis. But like I said, the song itself is also devoid of that. And of course, it's Taylor Swift, so we can't really expect much from her in that department. But one thing I did like and notice, to give her credit, was the whole Serena Williams tennis racket incident callback, because she kind of juxtaposes that incident to that of a rich white man doing the same thing, throwing a tantrum in the middle of the court and not being, harassed by the ref or the officials, for example. But then it's weird because it pulls back and it's not even a real charity event. It's just a stage play. So it's like he's not even really acting that way in real life. It's just because Taylor's directing him to act that way. I don't know. I didn't know how I feel about I actually don't know how I feel about that, if I like it or don't like it. But it shows that there's a little consciousness right there, right? that she would put that in, maybe. I don't want to take away that from her, but besides that, there were no prominent people of color, any class analysis, but like we said, Taylor, what can we expect? So those are the things that I liked. I also liked that the music video took place in present day, because from the thumbnail it looked like it could be from the 60s or the 80s, but obviously I got more of an 80s vibe because I definitely got more Wolf of Wall Street, as that is more, I guess, culturally known, because Mad Men is more of a series that you kind of have to stick with, but Wolf of Wall Street is just a movie that can be more widely consumed by more people. Anyway, so that's what I got from it. And she did a whole bunch of homages to Wolf of Wall Street. But I'm glad that it took place in present day, because a lot of feminist movies, I guess, like Captain Marvel or the new Wonder Woman movie that's coming out, or Miss Maisel, these are all supposed to be like feminist movies and TV shows, but they all take place in the past, and they don't really address the inequality that is happening today. Even Mad Men, which talks about sexual harassment a lot and comments on it, it takes place in the 1960s and 70s, so it's relevant to know how we got here, but it doesn't really talk about women today and their issues today. So I'm really glad that the music video took place in present day, and I guess that kind of makes sense considering Taylor's problems are happening now. So yeah, those are what I liked about the music video. Let me just check my notes to see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, I guess that's it. I did notice one callback to when the man is peeing in the subway. There's like her album names graffitied on the wall where he's peeing, and there's like a wanted poster for Taylor's music. So yeah, I guess I get that, But that was the only Easter egg I found because, like I said, I don't really follow her personal life. So those are the things that I liked. Let's get into what I didn't like. So the biggest eyesore to me in this music video was after the time card of 58 years later, and the man is elderly, and he's dating this young Victoria's Secret looking model, very stereotypically beautiful, right? And she's young, and she shows off her rock of a wedding ring or an engagement ring. And it's kind of slut-shamey, to me. That just did not sit right with me. And then I guess it's okay because she leaves him in the end or she leaves him at the wedding because he's an asshole, obviously. But it was just very slut-shamey and just kind of undermined the whole point of the song. The whole point of the song is to lift women up. But this was kind of just tearing a woman down. I guess it was kind of empowering to her because she left. But again, that doesn't address why women put themselves in these uncomfortable situations and how hard it is for women to leave these kind of situations. It's not easy to leave a relationship where there is a huge income gap. And usually the women in these relationships do not have a higher education, either got pregnant early or had an unwanted pregnancy, or just, are being abused and cannot leave because they do not make enough money. And women in these situations are victims, they have to ask their partner for money. They have to get an allowance. They don't have access to their husband's wealth. Yeah, maybe he gives them gifts, but the man in this relationship holds all the power. And for her to make this character of this woman in a clearly who's supposed to be a gold digger, it was just very uncomfortable and just did not sit well with me. Men choose their victims. They choose women who cannot afford to get out of a relationship, who cannot get a higher paying job because they do not pursue or cannot pursue higher education. They choose those women as their victims because they know that they will be able to control them. And not being financially free and having to marry for wealth, it's, something that women struggle with and grapple with, because they know that they're not going to make as much money as a man. And the song The Man is all about working women and about women in the workplace and how hard it is for women in the workplace to move up. So it's kind of weird that this was even in the music video. And in addition, these marriages where there is either a huge age gap, a huge wealth gap, or both, are very volatile situations. They can change at any moment. If the man suddenly doesn't want to pay for their wife's health care, they don't have to, you know? If the man doesn't want to give her money or freedom to do X, Y, and Z, she cannot do it, you know? So these women are kind of at the mercy of their husbands who are making all the money. And that's a shitty situation to be in, because that means that these women have to put up with a lot of shit because they can't get out of these relationships. They have to put up with cheating, with abuse, whether it be emotional or physical. They have to beg for an allowance. You know, it's just a very messy and terrible situation to be in. But we as a society kind of frame these marriages as like the woman getting all the benefits. But that's not how it is. And I think it's because we only see high profile marriages of young women to very older wealthy men. But for the everyday woman, it does not look like that, right? It's a woman making a minimum wage, working part-time with a man who's making, you know, not that much money, but more than what she's making. You know, it's not a huge gap as we usually see, like, you know, like a young model dating like a famous director or something. It's usually like maybe a man working a fairly decent job with a woman that's making like $7 an hour, you know? And that's just to get into the details of it. I don't think I need to even get into the details of this, because it should be obvious that these women are put in a very dangerous situation because of how society blocks women from entering higher education, kind of disincentivizes them from pursuing job opportunities or education, or how we block women from certain things because we have to tell them that they have to have children, or that, you know, women just aren't good at math, or that, you know, you're going to have to work X times as harder. So is it really worth it? Why don't you just marry a rich man? Don't forget to marry up. You know, these are all things that we hear like from birth, you know? So it's kind of unfair that Taylor is continuing this long cycle of, you know, the gold digger stereotype, because it's just not based in any sort of reality. And I guess it's great that she leaves in the end at the altar. But most women, especially, you know, just everyday women, cannot leave abusive relationships. And it's not up to them to leave. You know, because that's very victim blamey. Like, why didn't you just leave? You know, it's not as simple as that. And why do we ask the woman to leave and not the man to stop abusing his wife, right? It's beyond me. So that's one thing I didn't like. Sorry, this is a very long tangent of how, you know, I'm just speaking from the top of my head right now, but I really like having these kinds of conversations, these kind of more raw, unscripted kind of videos. So yeah, let's get into the other things I didn't like. And before I go on, I kind of said something that I want to clarify. Yeah, a man in a regular full-time job dating a woman who's making like $7 an hour, that is a huge wealth gap. Yeah, it's not like millions of dollars, but, you know, relatively to their positions in society, it's a huge wealth gap, you know, for that woman who's working part-time and doesn't have a full-time job or has to work multiple part-time jobs, compared to a man who has a stable, salaried position. And the reason why I bring that up is just to compare it to the scene from The Man, where clearly he's supposed to be like this multi-millionaire dating like this young model is probably not even making close to like $1 million, maybe. I don't know their income, but clearly they're supposed to be making different amounts of money. Oh yeah, and women who are in those positions, even when they're making maybe millions of dollars and their husband is like a billionaire, that's still a huge wealth gap. But it's a little different, right? When you're making $7 an hour versus when you have like at least $1 million saved up, right? As, an actress or model. That's a different situation. But again, we should not blame either side. I mean, we shouldn't blame either woman, whether they're making millions of dollars in an abusive relationship or making $7 an hour in an abusive relationship. We should not blame them. And that's just what I wanted to clarify. Hey guys, I'm just popping on while I'm editing, and I just want to talk about a few more things and clarify some other things. I'm not trying to shame women who marry up on purpose, or on purpose, not because they need to because of financial instability, but because they want to, That's perfectly fine. Sugar baby status. We're here for it. But that doesn't also mean that real abusive relationships where women are making a lot less than their partners also don't exist. Usually, if you are in a sugar baby relationship or whatever, there is some, consent to that. Both sides of the relationship know what they're getting into. But when you are forced into that position, that's not okay, So the last thing that I didn't like, and this kind of connects to the first point that I was making about abusive relationships, was that Taylor sexualizes women in her own music video, and I guess it's okay because she's a woman, but it's like not okay. Like, it again undermines the point of the video, which is to lift women up. But instead, she just uses them as objects the same way that Wolf of Wall Street did, and it's just devoid of any commentary even at that point. Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not going to talk about that movie right now, but it seems to have some sort of, at least, purpose to why it sexualizes women. But in Taylor's, it's just mocking that and just copying that and parodying it with devoid of any satire or commentary, because there is none. She's just copying these scenes. And the women don't look upset or angry to be sexualized. They are part of it. They're enjoying it. And that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And the only women who have speaking parts in this music video are Taylor, of course, and also this sporty looking tennis, assistant in the last few shots of the music video. And she's, of course, not like other girls. And if we juxtapose her, very natural looking, she's not wearing a lot of makeup, she's sporty, she's kind of a tomboy, and compare her to the woman at the altar in the scene that I mentioned previously, when there's this young looking model dating or marrying, Taylor's the man who's in his 70s maybe at that point. You can see that she's kind of championing this not like other girls narrative. And Taylor has always done that, I think, since You Belong With Me. And a lot of her early songs are tinged with this not like other girls thing, which, it was a different time, right? But to have that now, it's kind of right? And another thing that kind of adds to this not like other girls thing that I was talking about is that most of the women in the music video are just clueless about what's going on, or just I don't know, they just act weird, right? So in the very first scene when Taylor as the man throws something behind him, these desperate women are clinging on to whatever he just held. Women are just applauding him everywhere, right? And it's kind of blaming women for uplifting this man, and I guess I can kind of see that, but no, not really. I think, women are smart. We know what's going on. We're not ignorant to the fact that men get praised for just patting their daughter on the head, or, doing their hair or whatever. Women know that we're undervalued. Do we hold up men sometimes? Yeah, some of us hold up dangerous men. But most of us, I don't know. And especially in a music video that's supposed to be like feminist, right? You'd think that the women in the music video would be more intelligent, right? Would see the inequality that's happening. But in reality, only like maybe 2 women see this going on. The first is the model that leaves the man at the altar, and the other is, like I said, that kind of sporty, tennis assistant woman, and she's the only one that has a voice or that has speaking lines. And of course, she's not like other girls. She's more plain. She's not sexualizing herself. It's like very strange how the women, especially in the background, act. On the subway scene, the women are kind of like disgusted at, the man spreading and, using them as an ashtray essentially. But that's like the only time I really remember the women being like angry at him or at least looking uncomfortable. Most of the time, the women are lifting the man up. And I guess that can be some sort of commentary that women are complicit in sexism, or even in this, women are complicit in sexualizing other women. Yeah, I can see that. But, I don't know, it makes me feel weird. So that's what I like and didn't like about the video. Now I want to talk about where I thought the video was going. I thought that there was going to be a twist reveal in the end. I thought that there was going to be some sort of narrative structure. I thought so many things, right? I thought that it was going to be a female-led music video with more women, I guess. But rather it just was like following this one man, and it just took the song in a totally different direction and was totally weird. I saw so much potential for this song, especially after watching the lyric video, which I really did enjoy. I love the sound of like the heels tapping. We all know what that sound and image invokes, high heels on a marble floor. We all know what that kind of image invokes, and that is of a boss woman, right? Kind of a Miranda Priestley type woman. And I thought that's what the video was going to be, kind of like a Devil Wears Prada thing of where they kind of juxtapose a female CEO or a working woman compared to a working man. But instead, it was just like this parody, over-the-top dramatization of what men are really like, and it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny because, no man spreads that much. No man literally rolls around on a tennis court. And if they do, it's very far and few between. Most men are implicit in sexism. Most of the sexism women face, regular women face, is very subtle. It's very coded. And it's, for example, it's not moving out of the way on the sidewalk. It's subtly staring at a woman's butt while she walks away when you think no one is looking. It is not praising your female colleagues in public, but praising them privately. It's not giving women the recognition they deserve. It's not, just yelling at them or giving them the middle finger. That rarely happens. And, that's what's missing from this music video, because it is a total, parody of what sexism is. It's more about, small interactions. And yeah, if the music video wanted to be about microaggressions, fine, but let's make them real microaggressions that women face. And not just rich white women, but all types of women, trans women, black women, Asian women, disabled women. Subtle sexism in the workplace is not valuing a woman's work compared to a man's work. It's devaluing women's work. It's devaluing women's interests. It's the emotional labor women have to do at work to seem more pleasant, And yeah, men have to do that too. We all have to put on a facade at work, but women have the, the added stress of being women and having to smile at work, having to look pleasant, having to not look uncomfortable or make people feel uncomfortable. And that is where I thought the video could have gone. Maybe in the middle part there could have been a switch, or maybe Taylor could have been, the assistant to this. Sorry, I don't know why I put assistant in quotes. Sorry. That Taylor could have been the assistant to this man, and maybe she gets pushed around by him. Or maybe her career as a female pop star is juxtaposed to that of a male pop star. That is something that I think I could get behind and would be interesting. And it could still be about her personal life and about the unfair criticism she gets for, dating around or sleeping around. But instead it was just totally devoid of anything. It was just a huge parody, I don't know. And no man gets like a medal for tapping his daughter's head. We get where she's taking that from. A man doing their daughter's hair, he gets like 1 million likes on Instagram. But a woman who cooks, cleans, and holds down a full-time job is not praised the same way. We get it. But, that has been done before. It's tired. I wanted to see something with nuance. The lyrics and the song is still really good. I still listen to it. But it's kind of tainted now with this kind of off-colored music video. That's kind of slut-shaming, and victim blaming. Just putting that out there. Taylor haters, Taylor stans, come at me. I don't know, it could have been better, but of course, she took it in the direction she wants to. That's fine. It's a song about her life, obviously. But it just kind of, like I said, flew under my radar. Because clearly to her, this is a song about her haters. But to me, and I think to most women and casual fans of hers, kind of took it in a more of a broader sense as applying to, all women and how women have to work 2x, 3x as hard as men. But she did not really take it there at all. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. There was no script. I had some notes, obviously, but I kind of wanted to just go off and talk about it. I watch a lot of Kat Black's content. This is a plug, I guess. And she does her True Tea videos, and she just talks, and she says that it's okay if we're wrong sometimes. We're here to spill the true tea, right? To, say how we feel. And I think that's really important, especially, on YouTube, where you have to be curated all the time, but also be authentic. That's impossible. So I really like how she just kind of puts it all out there. And I kind of wanted to do that for this video. I know I said some things that might be not triggering, but that might be politically incorrect. And I'm sorry for that. But at the same time, I think that it's important to have these more real discussions. I'm going to say things that might be wrong or that might offend people. And you can call me out on that, I think the part where I was talking about the women who stay in abusive relationships, I had to clarify something. For example, I had to clarify that I'm not shaming women who are in high-profile marriages that are abusive, but there is a difference when you have money and access to legal representation versus when you're, again, working at a part-time job or multiple part-time jobs just to get by, or save a little bit to leave your partner. It's totally different. But again, like I said, we should not blame the women in the situations because, they are the victims, essentially. Abuse is messy. It's not always cut and dry. But, that is a long discussion that I am not prepared to have right now. But I just wanted to bring that up because of the whole, music video kind of still talking about that stereotype of the gold-digging woman trying to get a rich husband. Because, yeah, maybe she marries a rich man, but that money is not hers, That money is lorded over her, probably. So that's why it's important for women to be financially independent, to get and be able to access higher education, to be able to access higher jobs, and this video could have been a starting point for a discussion of how hard it is for women to gain financial independence, but it wasn't. So yeah, that's it. thanks for watching. I'm sorry if I said anything that was wrong, but like I said, I'm very inspired by Cat Black's True Tea videos, and I just kind of want to, speak off cuff, is it? Kind of just speak from my heart about these things, because I have made a lot of scripted content in the past, and I feel like that's always so not fun to make. I always get very stressed out making those videos that are scripted. So that's why I'm kind of going off script. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I keep going on and on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Big shout out to my Patreon. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean so much to me. I'm so close to my first 100 subscribers. I cannot believe it. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, liked, shared, commented, even if it was negative. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.